Good morning. My name is Taylor Rayleigh, and I'm here to tell you something good. There are many hard things in our world today, and I believe there is also great joy and great hope. When the days feel heavy and the world seems like it's falling apart, I try to focus on what I can control. I can't control the news. I can't control the arguments. I can't control the fear or the anger. But I can control, at least until the Texas Education Agency says otherwise, what happens inside my second grade classroom. And on the extra heavy days, that's where I look for the good. When the world feels heavy and I'm being asked to teach about elected officials, we learn about Ann Richards. We watch clips of her we watch clips of her 1988 convention speech, her cotton white hair, her bright blue suit, and that Texas accent that reminds me of my dad. I tell my students how people told her no, how they told her she did not belong, how they told her she couldn't win. And I tell them that when the world told Ann Richards no, she said yes. She kept showing up, she kept caring, she kept fighting, and then we talk about what courage looks like. My students tell me courage is standing up for people, even when it's your friends who are the ones being mean. They tell me courage is trying again when something is hard. They tell me courage is apologizing when you hurt someone. Second graders know courage. When the world feels heavy and I'm asked to teach about leadership, we learn about Shirley Chisholm. A tiny black woman who was told politics was no place for her, told to wait her turn, told to let someone else speak. Shirley didn't listen. She kept fighting. She kept pushing the needle forward. She kept working for her community. Her campaign slogan, unbought and unbossed. And when I ask my students what that means, they understand immediately. It means not following the crowd when the crowd is being mean. It means standing up for someone who is left out. It means doing what is right even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Second graders understand fairness in their bones. Second graders know justice. When the world feels heavy and I'm asked to teach about honesty, we learn about Sojourner Truth. She fought for her family, for her community. She walked across the nation speaking truth wherever she went. When people told her to sit down, she stood tall. When people told her to be quiet, she spoke louder. One of the original influencers, she even had a copyright in her name and sold her own photograph with the words, "I sell the shadow to support the substance," printed at the bottom. And when I ask my students what honesty looks like, they know. Honesty is telling the truth even when you might get in trouble. Honesty is speaking truth to power. Honesty is doing what's right when it isn't convenient or beneficial. Second graders know integrity. And when the world feels heavy, sometimes we don't talk. Sometimes we craft. We learn about the Underground Railroad and the quiet courage of people who risked everything to help enslaved people find freedom. We learn about the stories passed down about quilt patterns that could point the way to safety. A log cabin block meant a safe house, a place of welcome, a place of shelter, a place where someone would say, "You are safe here. We will take good care of you." And then we make our own quilt blocks, small hands, bright fabric, careful work. And when they finish, my students hold their squares up to one another and say, "Look, you're safe with me." They don't say it because I told them to. They say it because they understand. They don't call it sanctuary. They don't call it beloved community. They just say, "You are safe with me." And when the world feels heavy, I try to remember who I am. Yes, I am a teacher. I'm also a mother, an ally, a Christian. Every year we work to co-create a classroom where every child knows they belong. Every year I hang my pride flag. Every year I read books that reflect many cultures, many faiths, and many kinds of families. Every year I teach my students that love makes a family. And every year I tell them that our class is its own chosen family. They are what we call forever Rayleighs. And even when they aren't second graders anymore, forever Rayleighs can always come home. But sometimes, if I'm honest, I wonder, is it enough? Am I pushing hard enough, far enough, loving enough? And on those dark days, I remember this story. 14 years ago, I had a kindergarten student. We'll call them S. S was a tough kid. S was angry. S was physical. One day, S even took a swing at my 8-month pregnant belly. Don't worry, Jack is just fine. Needless to say, S was a child I struggled to connect with. And if I'm being honest, I was a little relieved when S moved on to first grade. Then last year I received a message, and it was from S. They told me they had moved out of state. They told me they had a new name and new pronouns. They told me their family was not supportive. And then they told me something I'll never forget. They remembered me. They remembered that I was an ally. For 14 years, a student I struggled to reach had remembered that my classroom was a safe place, that Forever Rayleighs can always come home. Many of us have seen the research that says one accepting adult can reduce the risk of suicide for LGBTQ youth by 40%. I hadn't set out to be S's adult, but in that moment I was. And I had the privilege of telling them what every child deserves to hear. You are good, you are loved, you are exactly who you are meant to be. As Psalm 139 reminds us, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That day, I got to remind S of that truth and remind them that they can always come home. And this is where I see the good in the world. Not in the headlines or the arguments, not in the fear. I see it in children who create a room where everyone is truly themselves. Children who are brave enough to be the truest version of themselves, who are radically inclusive, who notice and take action when someone needs help, who believe without hesitation that everyone should belong. Jesus told us that the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, which when it is planted grows into something large enough for birds to rest in its branches. And that's what my classroom feels like. Small moments, small kindnesses, small acts of courage, and truth, and welcome, and justice. Seeds. Every day my students plant them. Every day they help them grow. They remind me that the future is not only something we worry about, it is something we are planting quietly, patiently, lovingly, right now. When the world feels heavy, that is the good I hold on to. Because the kingdom of God isn't arriving all at once, it's growing. And the smallest seeds, kindness, courage, truth, belonging, are already taking root. When the world feels heavy, that is the good